Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you around the 2016 Elddis Encore 285. Hook the vehicle up once you arrive at your destination or charging at home. Slide the collar back on the hookup lead and slide on to the female end on the van. Always hook the van up first, then the point, as we don't want you walking around with a live lead should it be wet. Underneath you have your freshwater drain tap, so normally on the way out of a site you'd stop off at the motorhome service bay and let the water out into a grate or a gully in the ground, but it is crucial in the winter you drain both waste and fresh exterior tanks. And coming further back you've got your waste, so this is all the water you've used, your dishes water, shower water and hand basin water. So you do the same, drive over a grid and let it drain out. Above you've got your freshwater filler point, which you can lock with one of the smaller keys to stop people tampering with your water. And basically put a hose pipe in here until it overflows, or you can see inside that will go up in increments 25, 50, 75 and 100 litres once on board. If you are wild camping you'll have to take a full tank of water with you. If you are going to a site we just advise you take a maximum of 20 litres. Further back you've got this is your flue for your Alde heating system, you don't need to do anything with it. And then you do have your liquid petroleum gas, or your LPG. So this is where your gas bottles are kept. So you can fit two 6 kilogram gas bottles in here, and to put the pigtail on the bottle, hand tight, left hand thread, hand tighten and then turn on at the top of the bottle. You do have a small crash valve here, so if you just press this button for 3 seconds once you've opened the gas, it will allow the gas into the van. On the back of the vehicle you've got your reverse camera at the top with your high level brake light underneath. You've got so if you were wanting to put a bike rack on, these are the bike rack bars with a support in the body structure. And then you have your cassette loo, so your toilet's in there. This is where all your business ends up, so as long as the slide on the toilet is shut you'll be able to get the cassette out. You've got wheels there to drag it around the site instead of carry it once it's full. And they're empty. Take the cap off, the grey cap, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally to the rear or beside the toilet block. Press the button and tip away. Once you've tipped it out, put some fresh water back in, give it a rinse, tip it out again. Then if you are using the liquid, cap full of liquid into here, or if you're using the tablets, put about a pint of water back into the cassette and drop the tablet straight down the toilet, and it will degrade into the liquid. And you can lock your cassette and all your exterior lockers with the Trimark smaller flip key. And this locker here, this is underneath one of your single beds at the rear, and if you take these toggles off, your leisure batteries live under there, and you do have a good amount of storage underneath that locker. The habitation door does work with the flip key, but is on the central locking, so as soon as you lock the vehicle or unlock the vehicle, it will lock and unlock the habitation door as well as the cab. On your passenger door you've got your fuel, so to fill your fuel use your main ignition key, put it in and twist it, and then you can fill with diesel. And then coming into the passenger door you've got your tyre pressures on the slam panel here, so the 5 on the front and 5.5 bar on the back, which is 72.3 psi on the front and 79.5 on the rear. Underneath your passenger seat, so this is your tool kit, so this has a jack and a brace, a torn iron, a screwdriver, so anything you need to change your wheel or be towed away is in there. Your main engine battery, with it being a Peugeot, is underneath the floor, so if you ever needed to change it you'd have to get in through the floor. But if you did want to jump start it, you can open your bonnet here, and there's jump starting points underneath the bonnet. So you've got your earth there for jump starting, and your positive here. So the positive's just down there. You've got your weight plate from when it was converted by the Explorer group, which is Elddis. So it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you were to tow anything, you can tow up to 5.5 ton, and that's a combined train weight of the van and whatever you're towing. And then you do have your front and back axle weights. Your paint code, so if you did want to get a touch-up pen, or you needed any panels respraying for the carb, that's your paint code. You've got your brake fluid, your radiator fluid, which this cover lifts off to fill, and the main one you're going to need when you're out on the road is your screw wash. And then in the middle of underneath the bonnet, in the middle here, you've got your oil filler and your dipstick for checking your oil. Once inside the vehicle, you've got your main control panel here. So to put the power on, you've got a master switch. So if you click this, you'll get master on. This will either give you 12 volt if you are not hooked up and just on your leisure battery, or if you are hooked up on site, you will get to 30 volt. Underneath, you've got your lights. So this is your master switch for all your lights, and then they are all individually switched around the vehicle. To the side, you've got your pump. So you must put your pump on to surface your kitchen tap, your toilet, your shower and your hand basin. Otherwise you'll just get whatever's left in the pipe. And then your awning is basically your awning light, which is above your habitation door. And then you can use these arrows here, so it's showing you we've got 85% of fresh water on board, we've got 3% of waste, we've got 14.1 volts in the leisure battery, but that's because we are on hookup. Once you take the hookup out, you'll get a true reading. And then it gives you the time there. To operate your Alde wet central heating system, so if you press the button and turn it on until you get this screen, and it'll just load. And then once you get this screen, if you press menu, it'll take you into the settings. So at the top you've got your temperature, so 30 degrees is the highest, so you can go up and down. So for this we'll say 28 degrees as the temperature that we want in the vehicle. And then underneath you've got your water, so you can have it on off. And so if you've got no water on board, don't put the water on, just put the heating on. So at the moment you can have half or full on your water, and then below you've got what source you're going to be running off. So you've got it off on electric, you can have it on 1 kilowatt. So if you are on a smaller CL site or abroad, you may have to use less electric because they're not as generous. You've got 2 kilowatts, and you've got 3 kilowatts, which you can use on most campsites in the UK. Underneath you've got your gas, so your little gas flame, that's turning the gas on. So if you weren't hooked up and you were wild camping, you'd have to use gas on its own. But if you did want the hot water or the heating quicker, you wanted to boost it, put on both sources together for about 20 minutes and then turn the gas off and allow the electric to continue. Your freestanding table is stored beside your habitation door in this cupboard here, and simply pulls out, and then all you need to do is pull the legs out and they will just fold up like an ironing board. In your kitchen area, to operate your microwave, when you are only on hookup, just press eco and it will wake up, and then you'll be able to operate it like a household microwave. You've got your Dometic fridge down here. So to operate your fridge, if you press the on button here, we'll then turn the fridge on, and you've got 3 sources. So if you are hooked up, you can put onto the plug, which is 230 electric. If you weren't hooked up and you were wild camping, you'd have to use gas. So you can put on gas and it self ignites. and then you put the battery setting, which gets a feed from the alternator when the engine's running, and basically keeps the fridge at the same temperature it was when departing. So the idea here is to cool your fridge the night before you go away, or if you're on site and you're travelling away to another site, the shopping on board will stay nice and cool. And then you do have your temperature, so 1 bar being the warmest, up to 5 being the coldest. And then in the winter, when you've cleaned all your fridge out and you've put the vehicle into storage, if you press this tab here and slide it forward, you can shut the door, and it'll not shut the door fully, and it'll allow air in to stop moisture and mould growing in the fridge. On your Thetford oven and hob, you've got 3 gas rings, 1 electric 240 when hooked up. You can use the ring instead of wasting your gas. You have your grill, and you do have an oven there. There's your grill pan. Take your oven shelves and grill pan out when travelling, as it can make a lot of vibration and noise when on the road. And then underneath you've got your gas taps here, so these are your gas taps for your fridge and your oven. If you do get any problems with your gas, turn it off at the bottle to be safe, but these are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced. Your consumer unit is located on the rear bed on the driver's side in the small locker at the front. So this is got all your trips when on 230 and all your fuses when on 12 volt running off your leisure battery. It would be a good idea to buy some spare blade fuses, so if you do get a problem you can just take the fuse that's blown and replace it, and it won't ruin your holiday. To operate your Thetford toilet, press the blue button here and make sure the pump's on, and you'll get your flush. And then to deposit your waste into the cassette, this is the trapdoor or the slide. Slide it to the right and it will drop into the cassette. Like I said, if this is open, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle. It's got to be shut, and then the cassette will indicate when it's 3/4 to nearly full by the wheel going red on the cassette diagram here, which will mean it needs taken out, emptied and changed. Got some storage in here, and this is your Alde antifreeze, where your antifreeze lives. So when it's on, it will show a lot higher than what it's reading at the moment. So at the moment it's reading minimum, but when it's on it will read nearly up to maximum. We'll give a true reading of how much antifreeze is in there, but you can top it up from the top if you require. This is how to use your skylight. So if you push the button in, pull the bar back, you can pull it all the way, or you can put it in the grooves should it be a nice summer's day and you want a light breeze. But when you've shut it, make sure the button pops out and the bar's above it, and it is closed when travelling. And then you do have a fly screen and a blackout blind for on an evening. To operate your rear travelling seats, take the cushions off your sofa. You've got 2 catches here, so gently push the base up and you'll be able to, and then push it back and make sure it's fully back, otherwise the seat will catch on the wood. And then you've got 2 levers, so you've got a lever for the front and a lever for the back. So and there it is, there's your forward facing seat. Same on the other side as well. So just operate with 2 bars and be gentle, as the seatbelt can tension sometimes. Underneath your bunk on the driver's side, you have where your Alde boiler lives. So this boiler holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter, when you've stopped using the vehicle or you're not using the vehicle as frequent, you must take the water out the boiler, because if it freezes it's not covered under warranty and it can cause a lot of damage, and it's quite expensive to replace one of these boilers. So here you have a yellow toggle, which is your winter drain tap. Make it stand on end, you'll hear the water cascading underneath the chassis. Do it with no pump or power on in the vehicle. leave it up in the upright position all through the winter, and then when you do come to reuse it, simply put the tap down, fill the vehicle with water from the exterior, come in, put the pump on, go to the cold side first, you'll automatically get cold water. Go to the hot, it'll cough, it'll splutter, it'll make all sorts of noises until you get a steady flow on one tap, then do them all throughout the van, and then your boiler is primed for the season. And also, when winterizing, leave the taps open in the mixer tap open in the middle position, just to allow any air out to stop an airlock. Now inside the cab, I will show you your cab controls. So to the right of me, you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments. You've got two, so you've got your top and your blind spot, which will both adjust. To the right, you've got your handbrake, and on the windows, you have your car blinds. So on both driver and passenger side, you've got your windows, so allow the smaller part of the blind to lead, and then you've got your pinch them, and you've got your windscreen blinds, which just clip together. A tip is, if it's going to be a windy, blustery night, put an elastic band or bobble around here, because they are just a magnetic strip and you don't want it to ping open during the night. And do have them open when driving. Coming down to your speedo, you've got your speedo, you've got your digital trip computer in the middle, and you've got your fuel and your temperature gauge there, and your rev count here. So to operate your trip computer, on the wiper stalk you've got trip, so if you just press there, it tells you your range in the tank. So we've got 356 mile in the tank. You've got your distance you've travelled on trip A, so 84.6 miles. Your average consumption, 20.6. Your instant consumption, which you'll probably not get because we are just standing on the forecourt. Whereas if you are driving, with the system would know what by the revs you are doing, what instant consumption, your average speed, and you've got travelling times A and B. You've got your mute, you've got your volume, you've got your voice command, you've got your menu, and you've got your, you can change the source here, and you can scroll through your channels. You've got your indicators and you've got your lights. You've got your cruise control on the bottom where you can pause and resume on this side. 6-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar and up here to reverse, and then you will hear you've got an audio reverse and tone with your sensors on there. This will lock the doors on a night, all of them, with it being a van conversion. It locks every door. You've got your front fogs and your rear fogs there, so you don't, just as long as you click it when you need them, you don't have to put your lights on, just click and it'll put your lights on for you. You've got your heated mirrors down here, and you've got 2 cigarette lighters, one of them being the bigger 180 watt. Temperature on the outside ring and fan speed on the in, it must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. And then you have your distribution, so this is where you want the air to go, either to you and your feet or your screen for demisting. And then you have got your if you want to recirculate the air or bring fresh air in. On the radio here, it is just an FM radio, and you can press 1 to 6 to save your favourite channels. It does take a CD with the eject here, and you just press media to change it. And you do have a USB down here for if you wanted to plug your phones or iPods or anything that holds memory stick that holds music, instead of carrying thousands of CDs, you can. Up here, this is a box which is cooled and heated by your air conditioning. So should you have little bottles of water or chocolate or sweets, you can put them in there for the road. And then you do have your glove box as well. To operate your Yamaha F45 awning, put the handle in, wind out until you can reach inside of the canopy, so about there. And then you've got 2 legs, so simply grab the leg and pull it towards you. You've got a small toggle here which adjusts the height of the legs. tighten the nut, you can peg the feet down, put both legs down, get the legs down as soon as possible so it supports the weight, and then you can walk the awning out further to your desired length of your pitch. And then if you are using the air awning, your C-rail is here, so you get your driveway kit which clips on there. But if you have the awning out, take it in on a night time, as if the wind picks up it can be very dangerous. And if you go away for the day and leave the van, bring the awning in, because if the wind picks up it will cause some damage. Thanks for watching this short video on your Elddis Encore 285 handover. Should you require any more help, feel free to contact 01207 272 777 or sales@timevalleymotorhomes.co.uk.